So if you're watching this video, you probably know what CS50 is. It's Harvard's Introduction to Computer Science. It's free, anyone can take it. And in my opinion, it is the best course out there to learn the fundamentals, all the way from how does a computer work, all the way up to how do you make a full stack application. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you've already started taking the course. And I'm also assuming that you're having a hard time completing the assignments, maybe watching the lectures. You're not really sure how is it possible that someone can take the entire course when it's so hard and there's so much material. In this video, I mainly want to tell you that I was in your shoes about a year ago. I had a full-time job, a family, children. I didn't really have much time to learn how to code, yet there was something in me. There was like a goal that I have for many years that I always wanted to learn how to code. I always wanted to break into the tech industry. In my country, it's one of the better industries to work in. It has a high pay, good benefits. It really is seen like the goal for a lot of people to reach. And as someone who has been working as a freelance videographer for over 10 years, for a while now, I've wanted to have, like a regular job, like something that I can just show up to work, do things that I enjoy, and get paid at the end of the day without having to worry about serving customers per se. So if you're like me, you probably want to learn how to code and you've been looking online. You've maybe started a couple of tutorials, maybe you found a website to learn from, such as Free Code Camp or Code Academy, or maybe you found Dr. Chuck's Python video on YouTube. There's a lot of options out there to learn how to code. And I think the metaphor here is it's basically an ocean of information. And the goal for you is to kind of pick the things that you need. And in my opinion, just pick the bare minimum that you need in order to get that first job. Once you get that first job, you will get a better direction of where it is that you're going in the tech industry. It's a massive industry and you're not going to learn all of computer science. The goal right now for you is to have a solid base and then from then on build upon that. It makes sense, right? I was doing Free Code Camp. I was also doing the Odin project, and I was also doing a Arduino course, which they teach you over there C++, but it's also with electronics. And so when I came across CS50, I just dropped all the other courses and I decided to focus only on CS50. And that's the first tip for you guys. Be loyal to the course. Don't get yourself into tutorial hell. Don't jump in between different courses. Start CS50 and stay in CS50 until you finish. Stay within the confines of the course, so only work on the code that they give you. If you don't understand, watch their lecture again. Maximum, if you really need help doing an assignment, you can ask people online to help you, but don't go out and try to learn topics that are taught in the course from a different tutorial or from a different video on YouTube from someone else. Because I tried doing that at the beginning and I found there isn't necessarily a relation between what the course is talking about and what the tutorial on YouTube from someone else is talking about. And I ended up wasting a lot of time. It got me even more confused. And in the end, I found that if I didn't understand a concept, the best thing to do is just to watch the lecture again. So that's the first tip. Only work on CS50 until you finish it. The second tip is, CS50 is taught at Harvard, and Harvard, from what I've heard, is one of the most difficult universities in the world, and they hold their students to like a very high standard. I mean, these students that are taking the course on campus are expected to finish the course in about 10 weeks, which I think it's insane, considering that these same students are also taking other courses that are equally as hard. I don't know how it's humanly possible for the average person who is working full-time, who maybe has a family to take care of, who maybe has other responsibilities other than eating code all day. I don't see how it's possible for anyone to finish the course in that short amount of time. So don't hurry it. I know it's overwhelming to see all the content and to think, wow, I have to finish this so quickly. There's so much to do here, so much homework. I don't even understand. Just take it easy. Just set yourself the goal of showing up to code 2 hours a day. Make 2 hours per day. Find in your day, where can I stop being on Facebook? Where can I stop being on Netflix? Where can I take time from doing things that are not getting me anywhere? Okay? Just try to sum up 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes here. Try to put it all together into a 2-hour block of time where you just show up to code. Your goal should be, I am showing up. Your goal is not, I'm going to finish the assignment. I'm going to understand everything. I'm going to do such a good job here. That's not the goal. The goal is just to show up and do serious learning for 2 hours per day. So no distractions. I would recommend you don't have your phone on you. You don't go on social media. Don't go on WhatsApp. Don't go on your email. Just 2 hours of just CS50 and your computer and you trying to figure things out. I guarantee you that if you do that, you will finish the course eventually. Even if it takes you a few months, even if it takes you a year, there's no rush here. CS50, in my opinion, is such a solid course that even if it takes you a year, you will have a very solid foundation to go on to other courses. You can even start applying for jobs by then, to start entry-level jobs. And I really think it's worth the effort, and it's worth the frustration of not finishing something right away. I think that a lot of us, especially in our generation, we're used to having everything immediate. You know, you send out a message to someone on the other side of the world and you get a response within seconds. Guys, life doesn't necessarily work like that. Like, in life, there are processes and things take time, and a tree doesn't grow overnight. When you plant something, it takes time for things to grow. And the same, everything that's going to be lasting in your life and everything that's going to give you a solid foundation in something in life, you're not going to achieve that overnight. You're not going to be able to figure things out overnight. Everything takes time. Just show up 2 hours a day and make sure you put in the work. I guarantee you, things will work out for you. The other thing I recommend to stay motivated is to stop listening to other people. So stop going on YouTube and comparing yourself to the person that you're seeing. Most likely, people on YouTube lie in their videos. Most likely, they exaggerate their success. They'll tell you that they do things. Yeah, it took me only 3 months to do CS50. And then I did a second course on top of that, and then I got hired all within 5 months. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, think about it rationally. I don't think it's actually possible for someone to do that. Yet there's plenty of videos online of people claiming that they have been able to do this. You know what that does for people who watch those videos? It just makes them depressed. You watch that video and you see someone else having success within 3 months, and if by the 3rd month you're still on the second lesson on CS50, you're gonna feel terrible. And it's not gonna be helpful to you to watch someone else's success and then compare it to yours. You should be comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, who you were a week ago, a year ago, a month ago. That's who you should compare yourself to. Don't compare yourself to all these YouTube personalities who you don't really know the truth. Maybe this person had a background in computer science that he's not telling you about. Maybe this person actually took 8 months and not 4, but yet he's lying in his video. Maybe this person had nothing better to do all day than to sit and code. Maybe this person didn't have friends, didn't have a family, didn't have other things going on in his life. Everybody needs to look at their own progress and judge it based on how they were doing yesterday, not judge it based on how others are doing. The last thing that I did to stay motivated during the course was to go outside, to have fun with family, with friends, to work out, to play tennis, to garden, to go on trips. When I would go outside, I would think about the code. I don't have to be in front of the computer to think about something that didn't make sense. I could think about it anywhere. And whenever I was out and about doing my own thing, I would think about the problem that I couldn't solve. And many times I would have a new perspective. Oh, what if I ask this forum how to solve it? Or what about I try this other thing next time? And I would just keep it fresh in my mind. Because I was only doing 2 hours a day, I would finish those 2 hours wanting to do more time, but I would stop myself. And that enthusiasm helped me the next day, because I would go into it the next day still excited about going to code. And honestly, I did a couple of days where, let's say I did 7 hours of coding, but then the next day I wouldn't show up to code because I would be burned out. I think it's better slow, steady progress over a long period of time rather than trying to figure everything out overnight. The last thing that I did when I was taking the course is reaching out for help. If you're not feeling motivated, if you feel like you can't figure things out, you want to quit the course, reach out for help. There's a couple of forums, which you can see here, that you can ask your questions and people will answer you without actually giving you the answer. So many times you can post your code there and people will tell you, hey, you missed this or you missed that, without actually giving you the answer for you to copy off of, which means that you can still submit your homework, and it means that you're actually learning more than if you just copy code. Because when you just copy code, it's the same as math. If you just copy the answer, you don't know how people got to that answer. It's the same here. If you work hard, somebody tells you, hey, you missed a couple things here and there, that's when the real learning happens. And that is why CS50 is such a good course, because all of the assignments require you to get to that point where you feel like this is impossible to figure out. And then it'll probably take you a bit of time to figure things out. It might take you a couple of days. Maybe some people it takes more than a week. Figure things out. And then when you finally get the answer correct, you feel so good. You feel so accomplished. And at the same time, because you work so hard on it, you're not going to forget that easily. I've seen that in my own job now, where things that I learned CS50 a year ago, I could still talk about them. I could still apply them. And if you post online and you feel like you're still not understanding and you're still not getting anywhere, and you feel like you need maybe someone in person to help you out, I'm actually starting to offer tutoring sessions for CS50. Take a look at the link below. The session includes a Zoom meeting for us to go over your code. I will show you what you missed. you can get the help immediately for what you need to learn without me actually giving you the answer, and you'll be able to learn in the best way possible.